Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Jay and Nichole's Learning Lab podcast. Today, we're going to do our monthly wrap up and take a look ahead of what's coming next month. We're going to reflect on the January's episodes, and we have a preview of Teacher Month in February. But we are also introducing two new segments today. You want to tell them about the segments, Nichole?
Sure. So it's something we've been playing around with, and it just really resonated with us. We really thought, oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. So let us know what you think. We have decided to include a, let me get it right. Let's see, it's new. Okay. Let's see if I get it right. Hall of Fame and Wall of Shame. All right. So
Yes.
I know I'm pretty excited about this. This caused quite the stir between the two of us. It was a very long conversation of having fun.
Yeah, well, it started out as just being a wall of shame.
It did.
Um, and then it grew into, well, if we're going to highlight some negative things, we should also highlight the positive. And our first nominee, well, not our first, not our first addition to the Hall of
Oh, wait, wait, wait,
Fame.
wait, wait. Shouldn't we give criteria?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Ah, cool. Let's get some criteria. Okay, so this is going to be an added segment. So we're going to start our wrap ups with the Hall of Fame. So this is our first one. We will end it with the Wall of Shame. And to get on the Hall of Fame, just so you know, inquiring minds, it's about really just celebrating some individuals, companies, or organizations that have made a really great or meaningful impact to our community, right? So each month we're going to try and nominate somebody. We're going to honor them as someone who's gone above and beyond to support either parents, teachers, entrepreneurs, just anybody in our industry right now. And we're going to have a really, really great nominee. We it was hard to choose. We had some good choices. We did.
Yeah,
It was actually it took us how
right
long to
up
figure?
until recording to
Yeah,
figure it out.
it was really difficult. Okay, introduce it.
Okay, our first addition to the Hall of Fame is um, Katie Prescott. She's the founder of the Abridge Academy. She was actually on our podcast, season one, episode five. She is a qualified teacher in the UK. She's taught all over Asia, China, Japan, and the UK. She holds a postgraduate certificate from the University of Cambridge. And during her podcast, she talked about founding the Abridge Academy and her why she does this for teachers. And she started the Abridge Academy in 2018. And this was in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And she was able to bring her business model online with training and curriculum development. Her lessons are very interactive and they are very professionally done. I use them in class and I have only positive things to say about her lessons. There's a few funny things about them that I showed Nichole earlier today, but you have to have kind of a twisted mind to see what I saw.
Or just,
Um,
be of our generation to know the
right,
reference. But
right,
yeah, the other thing, the flip side though, it wasn't just what she gave to
right.
the teachers, as in curriculum and servicing a need. It also had to do with the other side of, like, her personality, her
Yes.
approachability. She just really kind of really embodied somebody that you would want to model.
Right. I found her really super friendly during the podcast and
Yep.
very open. What I really admire the most about Katie is how much she actually helps the community. She's very supportive. I
Yep.
see her on various lives, always highlighting positive things for Super Teacher or various YouTube lives and Facebook lives. I really appreciate it. And I just think she's a huge bonus to our community.
I agree. And like I said, she just gives so much. It's not all about, of course, we all want to, we don't do everything for free, but she really tempers it very well with she's very concerned and genuinely caring about the community while
Yeah,
also growing her own business at the same
right.
time and being successful. And I
In
think
a
it's a
in a
really great
very
balance.
ethical way. She's
Ethical, big
right,
big one there, right?
right. Definitely. All right.
Very good. Okay,
Okay.
so Katie,
Th-
you have
Thank
been
you for
nominated. We're excited to have you as our very, very, very first nominee for our Hall of Fame through your innovative approaches and great contributions and just being an overall amazing person.
yes. Thank you for being you.
That's right, right? All right, so now let's get to the bones of it. Let's talk about uh month our first month in season 2. I can't believe I can say that, season 2.
All right.
I know.
It's
I mean, the first
becoming
one
a
was
thing
pretty.
now.
I know, right? The first one was pretty short, season 1.
Mhm.
But how did you feel about this first month in the new year?
Okay. Well, so we have an episode being released tomorrow. Oh, never mind. Ignore that because
We're
tomorrow doesn't
recording in
matter. This will
advance.
be released. So, so our previous episode was the mental health side of teaching.
Mm.
I was glad we did that, but I felt like we missed the mark a little bit. Not terribly. It didn't go the direction I had envisioned. And that certainly isn't the guest's fault. That would
No,
be our
that's ours.
fault. That's on us. So I think that's a topic that we're probably going to revisit later.
I
Um,
agree 100%.
I felt like we missed what we wanted to talk about, but we had two teacherpreneur coaches on. We had Rich Tweeton and Jillian Shanahan. They both offered a lot of valuable insight. Sometimes their opinions and insights were contradictory, um, but there's always, when you take certain things like, for example, should money be a goal? There's always a positive and negative to a topic like that. There's you can fight for reasons why or why not a topic like that is important. So I enjoyed both of them. Um, and I'm glad we were lucky enough to get them both on. What about you? What did you think?
I kind of agree with you on especially the mental health one. I think we've talked about this before. We only know what we know, right? And we're
Right.
we're we're a work in progress here. And I think we learned some really positive things about
Mhm.
doing the podcast through having our first panel. That's the first time we've had a
Right.
panel, right? And one of the things we learned is that we need to have a little bit more of a directed structure. So divide our podcast into like mini segments that we are aware of
Right.
as the hosts. So we can kind of funnel it a little bit better. I think we've
Right.
we've been a little too free to the point of losing the point.
Right.
Um, so I agree there. I agree there, especially with the ones that we have panels. I think we need to be a little bit more focused.
Yeah.
So I agree with that one there. And I do think we should revisit that one. Maybe
Yeah.
even just choose like one mental health topic specifically or two,
Possibly. Yeah, I think probably two. I think one would be too narrow, too
maybe. Yeah.
narrow.
But I do,
Um,
because we want to keep that sweet spot. We've really found that we like that, like between 30 to 45-minute podcast.
right,
So I agree with that. I also agree that Jillian and Rich were great examples of how diverse the coaching field is.
right,
And they both brought very different things to the table, but they both brought value.
right.
And I loved that. I also liked that they were both so excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
That just
Me
made it
too.
so interesting. And I think for me the biggest takeaway there, and I'm not trying to be biased because I do coaching as well, but you know I do coaching and consulting, but I also have a business coach.
Right.
So just because you're in that field doesn't mean you don't need the assistance. I think the thing that was highlighted here was is we all know that teachers start on a shoestring. I did, you did, everybody did.
Yeah.
So when you're starting out on that shoestring, try to get the information on your own, get this, join the free stuff that you can, and eventually seeking out help, paying for that help. It's nothing but a benefit.
You
So
know, and the funny thing is I have used Rich as a coach, I've used Jillian, and I've used you. I had all
yeah,
three of you.
yeah, you have. Oh, I don't know if our guests know that. Have we mentioned that before? That I was at one time. That's how we met, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And now we're partners in a podcast, and we partner up in some teaching as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, so sometimes lines blur that way. So that's the other thing. Through my coaching and teaching, I have really increased, and I have a very interesting network of people I work with now. And so you never know where it's going to take you. But yeah, yeah, that's right. You did, all three of us. That's right. I
Yeah.
didn't even remember that. That's
Yeah.
funny. That's funny.
And you know what? I took something of value from every one of you. Every one of you. I got some value out of each one.
Yeah, and
Each
that's
one.
and that's see, that just highlights the point that you don't have to stay with one coach either. I
Right.
haven't. I mean, you go with whose services you need at the time.
Right.
But there's
Right.
nothing wrong with staying with a coach either. So, but I think
Right.
that they both brought very interesting points. They definitely brought very different views to the table, and they also really highlighted that there's different aspects to our business. Um, so servicing different sides at different times, right?
Right.
Yeah, very good,
Definitely.
very good, very good. So, what are we looking forward to next month?
So next month, we are bringing back Yan from Fun Class, and she is also bringing her CTO with her, Viana. I can't pronounce her last name, so I'm not even going to try.
I'm not going to try either.
I don't need anybody I don't know getting mad at me. Wait till they meet me first, then
Oh,
they can get mad at me.
my goodness.
Um, we are also going to be we're going to be doing another panel, I believe, and we're going to talk about racism and discrimination in the teaching profession. Boy, I didn't, forgive me for being stupid, but I didn't realize this was still such a thing. I thought this was dead 10 years ago, but apparently it's not. So, anybody out there, if you want to come on this podcast and discuss this, uh, let one of us know. Let one of us know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's
What else do we got next month?
next month. Okay, so we that's our hot topic, right? And then we have Yan coming back with her
Mhm.
CTO to give us some really great updates. So it's mostly like talking about tech savvy, right? And
Yeah.
then Chinese agents.
That's right. Yes, I am bringing on, or we are bringing on an agent from China. Every, I would
I've
bet
used
you
it.
2 or 3 times a week that I see a post on Facebook of people asking how to find agents, where to find them, what are they even? Because that term has changed a bit in recent years. So I have an agent that has agreed to come on. This is an agent that I use. I don't think Nichole uses him yet.
Not,
You
I
will.
probably, but I know of him. Um, yeah, there's a couple I've talked to. There's a couple I've given, I offer, there's a couple agents that I offer teachers if they use my services. I'll,
Mhm.
hook them up with some places that if they need. Um, yeah, it's an interesting market now that teachers are starting to go solo since the double
Right.
reduction. It's something that's definitely popped up a lot, but it's something I'm really interested in talking about. I think next month is going to be a very interesting month, to be honest. I'm actually very
I think
interested
it'll
in
be
this month.
fun. Yeah, that second episode next month, the racism one,
I think it's
that has a
valuable.
potential to be, well, it can be valuable, but it has a potential to be a very charged
Mm-mm.
discussion. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm
looking
really
forward.
hoping though that we can have some very articulate individuals that can really
Yeah.
get their point across, because
Yeah.
I really think it's a
And
topic that can be extremely charged, but I think it's
mhm.
also something that people really need to understand.
Well, yeah, because I'm interested in hearing their stories.
Mm-mm.
What has happened? Because I only know what people tell me, and
Yeah.
there's a lady that I know that has had this problem. She's she doesn't want to come on the podcast. She's a very private person. She doesn't want to come on and discuss it. But I hope we find some people that are willing to come on and be open on this, because I think it's important for us
And I
to
will
learn
be
about this.
considered part of that panel this time because while I do not have it personally, from the owner side, I have experienced it from the owner side, having
Right.
teachers that have faced this issue. And
Hmm.
yeah, so I'll be discussing the issues that I've had and the responses I've gotten from it.
Sure.
Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
leave it as a mystery at the moment, but I'm sure everybody can
Well,
guess.
we're hanging on edge right now.
I know, right, right, right. But yeah, because it's I don't think I'm going to be able to find somebody, unfortunately, on the other side of that coin from the business aspect. And because I have had teachers from all over the world on
So
my
we can get
staff.
teachers to come on.
Yeah,
The one that we didn't think we could get anybody to come on and be honest with us, we would like to hear it from the parent side, but
parent
I
side.
just don't think anybody will come on and be honest with us. I
Well,
don't think they
yeah,
will.
and I don't know. I think socially, like it would be the social dynamics in the
Right.
demographics that we're talking about. I think it would be a little bit is a little stretch. It's a
Right.
stretch.
Right.
But the only part that I could contribute would be from the business side. But yeah,
Mhm.
I don't experience personally. I don't experience either, just like you do, because
Right. I'm a white male. You know, the doors are
yeah,
open for me,
and
you know.
it's an unfortunate, super unfortunate, unnecessary. Anyways, I'm getting into it because it's such a topic that I just really want to talk about it.
Don't give it away.
I'm not. I promise. We'll move on now.
All
So,
right. All right.
so basically, stay tuned for next month. Okay, y'all. We need you need to be here for February because we have a lot of interesting topics. Okay.
Mhm.
So this brings us to the second part of our segment of we had our Hall of Fame. We now have our Wall of Shame.
Dun
Okay,
dun dun.
right? I know. I feel I need to add this in. Dun dun dun. Right. Okay, so this is where we're going to address the other side of the coin. All right. So each month we're going to kind of highlight or bring notice to maybe a company, a policy, or some type of practice that we believe isn't living up to the standards of
It could
our
even be
community
a person.
deserves. It can be
It
a
could
person.
even be a.
Yeah. Company policy person.
Mhm.
Basically somebody who's not living up to our industry standards or doing our industry justice, right?
Right.
So it's kind of our way of shining a light on a segment that needs to have accountability.
Right.
And we welcome
Whether,
nominees for this too.
yes, yes, because, I'm in a spot where I don't really have to deal with these companies very often. So I don't know what's going on out there.
Mm.
Um, you're in the same spot I'm in. I'm mostly private now. So, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's the ones that we have had to deal with um, falling short, and the one that we want to nominate for this month because, well, I think it's the one that most people
Low
think of
hanging fruit.
immediate. Yeah, we're going to focus on Cambly. So it's the online
Yes.
English tutoring platform and their practices. So our issue, why we nominated Cambly, right on the top tier, number one, pay.
Pay. It's awful.
It's
It's awful.
absolutely terrible. Oh, it's what 10-20 an hour now, or it's been that
Yeah.
way for
And
like
that
what
hasn't
5
changed
years
in
or
at least
more.
5 years. At least 5 years.
Yeah, because we both have had accounts there, and
Hmm.
even as long as 5 years ago, we know that's what the pay was because we personally have that experience. We are aware that it's been longer than that, but
Hmm.
we cannot unless somebody comes on and wants to say that they've been on there a lot longer or since they started, what the pay was when they started. If anybody wants to pop in and
I
tell
would be
that one.
curious on that. I
Yeah.
would be
If so,
curious
if
about
we
that.
have anybody listening or watching who maybe was when they first came out, if you want to
Mhm.
share that pay rate, that'd be interesting. But so what are some of our beefs with Cambly? So okay.
Okay.
Um
Pay.
pay.
Also, they've taken away a lot of the bonuses and incentives
Mm-mm.
that used to be there. There used to be I don't know, like a 20% or 25% uplift during certain hours, not every week, but during like busy times, like holiday times where they have a hard time getting enough teachers on there. That's gone. Um,
Oh, I believe they used to, when there was an overload in the system, they used to push out. I remember that. I think they used to push out a notice that they need, if you weren't on, they would push out notifications that, there was a
I don't know
temporary
about that.
increase.
I've never taught there
If I
enough to
remember, I can't remember
notice
exactly.
that.
Don't quote me on that one, but I vaguely remember that. It's been a while. Um, the thing that I noticed is they've done a lot of system upgrades, but they haven't done any
Mhm.
pay increases.
Right. The teachers are a big part of why the company exists. You've got to invest in your teachers as well. You can't just invest in stuff, you
And
know.
I know for a fact because I have former students who I've contacted to come teach. I have that aren't on Cambly anymore.
Mhm.
But I had asked them why they left Cambly, and they had said that the prices had increased. And I
Right.
hadn't looked at that time, and then I went and looked, and yes, they have. So they've
They're
increased their
the prices,
prices.
I believe the prices are they're pretty standard prices in the field too.
Mm.
And why
For
aren't
what they're
the
offering.
teachers getting, yeah, why aren't the teachers getting any of that? I think we did. I think teachers should get something. Nobody expects Cambly to be a top paying thing. I
No,
always looked at Cambly as beer money. I never looked at it as much more than that. I
I
can't
always
take
looked
the
at it as
platform seriously.
I look at it as I have like a weekly target.
Mhm.
And if I've had students cancel last minute, or I've had things happen, or maybe I've taken time off and I need to make up some cash real quick, or if I need cash real quick, to beef up a month that I have extra expenses.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll go on Cambly, go live.
Yeah. I did 1 month or 1 week where I actually made $250 and it just about killed me because
The
I think I
hours.
was in front of the computer for 60 hours that week to make the 250.
Oh, I
You know, I
believe it. I
um,
believe it.
the other problem I have with Cambly is that I find the responses from the support team to be really patronizing. Thank you for that word earlier, by the way. I
Huh.
couldn't think of the word.
We're handing out accolades now. Okay, okay. Ooh, am I
But
up one now?
the,
Am I up one now? We
no,
were
no, no,
taking
you're not.
tallies on who came up with the better words earlier before the podcast. That's just so you know.
Um, but I find, like I said, the responses, sometimes you just shouldn't try to even polish a turd. Sometimes a turd is a turd, and you got to leave it at that.
I think this is my favorite episode now. Just saying. Yeah, well, and the other, yeah, I agree with you on this one. This one, it's super patronizing. It almost feels like, well, it is. We all know this. It's just cut and paste. But who decided to do these templates did not understand the social interaction that they need to have with the teachers that
Right.
they are using.
We are not stupid. We
Well,
can, you know, and that's what I feel like the emails, the responses that I've got from them, it feels like they're talking to me like I'm stupid. And
mm-mm.
I have a big problem with the whole
I do
operation.
as well. Yeah, it's yes. And the other one is there's two more reasons. See, we have a list for this one. They really did make our list. The other one is even just getting on, like people who actually are qualified and
Oh,
need
yes.
to get on, the process to get on is so detached from a human. You literally don't talk to anybody at all.
And you can go weeks or months before you hear back from them.
Well, or you get on, yeah, I'm like, oh, I'll give a great example. My first experience of getting on with Cambly years ago, 5 years ago, was it took three months, 3 or 4 months, and I inquired 3 times. The first 2 times, you're still in review. The third time, I was literally told I was denied, which I couldn't figure out. And then 2 weeks after that, I get an email going, so and so is trying to book you. And I went, what? And I go on and my account's active. I literally didn't even get a notice my account was active. That's what it was. The second time I got the other message,
Mhm.
but I didn't. It was just somebody's trying to book you, and I'm like, how are they booking me when I was denied?
Right.
And then when you try to get on the kids side because they're separate, your account will sit in review status for ever.
Now, so Cambly's on there,
Yeah.
and there will be others that are added, but there is a way to come off those, to come
Mm-hmm.
off the wall of shame. How do you get off the wall of shame? Well, I think that you need to come on the podcast and either defend it. Well, you
Justify
can't
it. Just justify it.
justify it or show us how you've changed. Show
Or a
us what's
roadmap.
changed.
A roadmap.
Yep.
Give us a
Yeah.
roadmap
A
because
plan.
sometimes it takes longer to make change, especially if you're a company. Give us a roadmap. Tell us what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
To be fair, to be honest, not to be fair, but to be honest, I don't think Cambly will ever send anybody on here. Just the way support handles messaging, I don't think they would ever come back on. However, if they do improve on some of these, I'm open to removing them when they do. If they do, I'm
Honestly,
open to
I,
that.
I am too. To be fair, yeah, I am too, and especially if they address that number one issue,
Mhm.
they really need to
Yeah,
make an
that's
investment.
because I could really care less what the support team says to me. I really don't care.
Yeah,
I can just delete the message if it bothers me that much,
I mean, and there is a positive side to not having to talk to somebody to get hired. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but I
Right,
mean, just
right.
fill out your stuff, check your references. Okay, you're hired, right? I mean,
Mhm.
it is streamlined. It's very inconsistent, I guess is the word we
Right.
should use.
I just think the amount of time it takes to somebody get on there to make $10 an hour is, I don't know,
Ridiculous.
lazy. It's
Yeah,
lazy.
that too. All right, all right. Well, I think we went a little far with the Cambly one. We had a lot of opinions. So, but you know what? It does service a need. It does for both sides, parents,
Mhm.
students, and teachers. So I mean, it is there for a reason. Teachers are there for a reason. I just think that their model could be better.
Yep. Yep.
A
I
lot,
think that
lots of room for
the
improvement.
the teachers are a big part of the company and you're investing in all sorts of areas in the company, but you're not investing in your teachers.
Mm-mm.
I
Yeah,
think it's
exactly.
uh, not quite. I mean, you can't always give pay raises, but come on, it's been at least 5 years.
Yeah, that is, yeah, that's that. Okay. All right. So, what's your biggest takeaway from this last month, and how are you looking forward to next month?
Um, so for me, I particularly liked the conversations with the two teacher coaches
Yep.
about goal setting because they both touched on it. And I took something away from both of those. I'm not very good at setting goals other than make money. That's, you know, and I think I need to add more substance to those, to be honest.
All right, all right. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. I agree too. I think it was also very appropriate for a new year, new start, new set of
Mhm.
goals. I know that sounds a little cliche, but it's almost like you're having a fresh start. And I kind of feel
Mhm.
like that way when the year turns over as well. I like to reflect on what didn't work, what was working for me, what am I
Mhm.
bringing through to this year, and then the goals I need to set to accomplish that. And I think they both had very good points. So I thought that was a good one as well. Now,
Yeah.
moving forward, I'm excited for everything next month, to be honest.
Me too.
I think we really are just nailing this one out of the park. I think
Yes.
we've got some high aspirations going on.
Right. Yan was one of my favorite episodes last year too. So
Season
I'm
one.
looking
Yeah.
forward to I'm looking forward to having her back on. You could just see the excitement in her face about fun class. So I enjoyed that. I'll enjoy having her back on.
Ironically, she reached out to us to come back.
Yes. Yes.
Because we had told her we wanted her to come back, and she really, I'll give her props for that one.
She wanted to nail down the time and everything. She wanted
Nice.
because we suggested like March, and she's like, "Oh no, 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 no! I want it to be in January." She pushed to have it in January.
So yeah, she made our first first episode for February. But yeah, yeah, no, I'm excited for her too. I think she was really great. I'm interested to see what her CTO has to say and what the changes and updates have been. So I think overall, between this, the agents, and our hot topic of the racism towards teachers in the industry, I think it's going to be an interesting month. I'm very excited to see it, and talk to people. Yeah, very good.
Too.
All right, you guys. Well, you heard it here. You need to stay tuned. Don't forget to like, share, and set your calendars. You're not going to want to miss. Comment. Yeah, that's a good one. Comment.
Come on,
guys. And also, I feel like we have this is your homework list. The teacher, right? This is your homework list, right? Don't forget nominations, and we will see you in our next episode when we kick off our month with Yan and Vienna from Fun Class. We're going to dive into some tech-savvy teaching platforms that we like, but this one is a good one. There's been a lot of upgrades. Jay will have a lot to say about this as well because he's been our tester. So you don't want to miss out. Yes. All right, you guys, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.